I'm Molly Polda, and I co-run literary events like this one at Newcomb Institute. Every year, the Florie Gale Arons program brings a distinguished female poet to campus for a poetry reading and workshop. The program was established by the daughters of Florie Gale Arons in 1999 in honor of their mother's 70th birthday, and it continues today in her memory. Mrs. Arons' posthumously published collection of poetry called Unspoken Words is available for sale tonight. Tonight marks the 20th anniversary of this program, and I want to thank Andrew Huesman, Anne in absentia, Lisa Aldridge, and Gina Arons for their dedication and support. Yes. And I want to thank all of you for celebrating this special anniversary with us tonight. To begin, Andrew Huesman will read remarks that her mother wrote for the first event of this program. After that, Tulane student Simran Jan will read a poem by Mrs. Arons and then introduce our poet, Morgan Parker. Thank you. Woo.
Well, first of all, I'd like to welcome everyone here and say that I think my mother had something to do with the fire drill. She was a little bit worried that people wouldn't know where this event was. So because we were all outside in the excitement, she got us all here. So it's very auspicious that we are here in the 20th anniversary of this event, although it's the 21st reading of a poet. We didn't realize that when we gave this gift to my mother that 3 months later she'd be diagnosed with cancer. She was able to enjoy 3 of the readings, and she heard the 4th one, but she died 4 years later. But on November 11th of 1999, she wrote this. And true to form with my mother, she collated and made copies for all of us, but she did not insert them necessarily correctly, so I had 2 pages of page 1 and 1 page of 1-3, and then, and nothing on page 2, so I kind of improvised for page 2, but this is what she wrote. So, November 11th, 1999, it seems fitting to launch the inauguration of the annual Florie Gale Arons poetry reading with a sharing of how the event began. We have a family tradition of celebrating special occasions with songs and skits. So true to tradition, on the night of my 70th birthday, February 17th, 1999, in St. Petersburg, Florida, my daughters and their wonderful families, Gina Arons and her husband Ron Siegel, and their 9-year-old twin daughters, Alexandra and Julia, Lisa Arons Aldridge, and her son, Nicholas Aldridge, 3 years old, and Andrea Arons Huesman, and her husband Jeffrey, and their sons, Alexander, 6 years old, and Devin, 3.5 years old, had all assembled for the highlight of the week-long celebration, the birthday dinner party. After all the songs and skits and toasts, there was a pause, and Andrea led her sisters in a reading of a proclamation from the Newcomb College Center of Research on Women, announcing the establishment of the annual Florie Gale Arons poetry reading. As you can imagine, I was overwhelmed. My earliest writings as an English major at Sophie Newcomb College at Tulane University were usually in the form of short stories. But once I discovered the power of poetry, I was never content with prose. It was not until many years later that I gained acceptance into the first of many year-long poetry workshops at the Magical Institute that these poems had, if not their first hearing, certainly their first day in court. It was also in that setting that I was introduced to many contemporary poets and had the opportunity to study with them and hear them read. The impact of workshops and readings on poets and writing and making can't be measured. Just last year, a neighbor gave a friend a falling twig from an evergreen growing in her garden. Well, that little twig has not only taken root, but today is more than 2 feet tall and is well on its way to becoming a real tree. And I would imagine today it is a real tree. It is our hope that this gift will also take root and in the process encourage the growth of those who participate in both the readings and the workshop. For this living and loving tribute, I would like to close my remarks with a poem written in a workshop and dedicated to the heart and full of love, admiration, and gratitude to my daughters, Gina, Lisa, and Andrea. The poem is entitled, A Special Honey. Rarely in the morning, but sometimes on those long, gray winter afternoons, when I need something more than just a cup of tea, when I need something sweet. The chatter, tears, and laughter I still hear coming from my daughter's rooms is like a special honey into which I dip my spoon. I only need a drop or two. It only takes a trickle to transform a simple store-bought bread into a savory treat. To keep myself from wanting more, I complete a set of chores. I return the jar of to an empty shelf, store it, hoard it, and mark what's left. The alchemy of memories being what it is, there are no guarantees. I believe I have enough to last a lifetime, but to be sure, I use it sparingly. Thank you very much, and I hope you enjoy it.
This is Unspoken Words by Florie Gale Arons. I listen for unspoken words that slip and slide and sometimes hide, where stillborn promise lies preserved beneath the surface unobserved. Dropped mid-sentence in the air, many lose their way, amidst the banter and the chatter, the tinkling of ice in glasses and patois of patter. Others make their way through the caverns of sleep, where the lights are dimmed and the play begins, with charades and masquerades and endless games of hide and seek. Still others, in the language lovers speak, find words within the words unheard, to expand their definitions with meanings so complete. For eloquence and nuance, they depend on silence more than speech. And finally, a last word, for lost words, for words we have, for words to share, that even in absentia fill our hopes and dreams and prayers. Morgan Parker is a poet, essayist, and novelist. She is the author of the poetry collections Magical Negro, There Are More Beautiful Things Than Beyoncé, and Other People's Comfort Keeps Me Up at Night. Her debut young adult novel, Who Put This Song On, was just released by Delacorte Press. A debut book of nonfiction is forthcoming from One World. Parker is the recipient of 2017 National Endowment for the Arts and Literature Fellowship, winner of a Pushcart Prize, and has been hailed by the New York Times as a dynamic craftsperson of considerable consequence to American poetry. Please welcome Morgan Parker.
Thank you all for being here. You like that bio, right? That my agent wrote? Yeah, after that New York Times review, literally my mom called me and I was like, have you forgotten I'm of considerable consequence? It feels like an important thing to say all the time. Thanks so much for having me here. Thank you so much, Andrea. And thanks for the introduction. And thanks to all of you for being here. It's an honor. And it's going to be fun. I'm just going to get right into it. I think I'll start with some poems from Magical Negro, and then I'll go backwards in time. I feel most colored when I am thrown against a sharp white background. This is a poem after the artist Glenn Ligon, after a quote by Zora Neale Hurston. Or I feel sharp white, or colored against, or I am thrown, I am against, or when white, I sharp, I color, quiet, forget. My country is a boat. I feel most colored when I swear to God. I feel most colored when it is too late, when I am captive. The last thing on my mind is death. I tongue elegy. I color green because green is the color of power. I am growing two fruits. I feel most colored when I am thrown against the sidewalk. It is the last time I feel colored. Stone is the name of the fruit. I am a man, I am a man, I am a woman, I am a man, I am a woman, I am protected and served. I background my country is sharp in my throat. I pay taxes, and I am a child, and I grow into a bright, fleshy fruit. White bites. I stain the uniform. I am thrown black typeface in a headline
with no name, or no one hears me. I am thrown bone, unarmed. I feel most colored when my weapon is I, when I get what I deserve, when I can't breathe, when on television I shuffle and widen my eyes. I feel most colored when I am thrown against a mattress, my tits, my waist, my ankles buried in white ash. Everyone claps. I feel most colored when I am the punchline, when I am the trigger. In the dawn, putrid yellow, I know what I am being told. My country kisses on my grave. My country bigger than God. Elegy, my country. I feel most colored when I am collecting dust, when I am impatient and sick. They use us to distract us. My ears leak violet petals. I sharpen them again. Everyone claps. This poem, so this book is called Magical Negro. And throughout there are all these different magical Negroes, and as I see them, they're like hyper specific. And this one, I always like forget to be like, I want a projection of this. This one is based on the most glorious picture I've ever seen in my life, which is Diana Ross walking down the street in like a fur and like a silk negligee, just eating a rib. It's just the most beautiful thing. Yeah, so anyway, I'm always like, if I see you like on your phone, like just look at that. Just look at that. It's fine to do that during this reading. Magical Negro number 217, Diana Ross finishing a rib in Alabama, 1990s. Since I thought I'd be dead by now, everything I do is fucking perfect. Walking reckless, and men, I suck their bones until they're perfect. I don't sleep with accolades. I don't get touched in the night. All men do is cry and ask me to be their mama. I can't get a decent fuck to save my, when I think about their feelings, I don't care. It's cool. It's cool. Come to mama. There is so much death here. She is casual and almost fragrant, like the word kill doesn't sound as bad as it is. All my friends are sisters and husbands. I'm afraid to be uncharted. I want an empire in my teeth, but I can't be bothered to wear anything but silk. I have grown up less mysterious than my myth. All men do is think I'm looking at them. When I think about them tasting me, don't Google my tits when you can just, unfortunately, I have a body. And I'm the only one in charge of it. You know what? I eat the bones too. I'm in the world. Nobody cares where I came from. Okay. This one goes out to Charisma and her students who read this poem. It was great to meet y'all. Who were Frederick Douglass's cousins and other quotidian Black history facts I wish I learned in school? I have a body. It sits in a desk. Every day is bitten with new guilt. My teacher can see right through me all the way to Black History Month. It is my fortune to be ashamed and from nowhere. How can I concentrate on photosynthesis when there is a thing called Africa? When my teacher talks about slaves, I become a slave. I know too much. I raise my hand. American flag and family tree. Is it my fault my stomach aches? I wait in my desk and try to be still. I lie and immediately confess. I grow a plant in a paper towel. I get in trouble for talking. At recess, I pretend. The mountains are closing in. I am good, but too curious. What happened to the Indians? How do we know about heaven and dragonflies? Where did Harriet Tubman sleep? Who did Harriet Tubman kiss? What about the Africans that stayed? Why are they hungry? Did Frederick Douglass's mother brush his hair in the morning? Was he tender-headed and afraid? Is this how I'm supposed to feel? Are you sure? How do you know? This one's got a couple that are sort of long, but you'll be fine. And you know what I mean? Like, you're sitting down, so. The history of Black people. 1. The saddest triptych is our blood, trouble passed down, a route out on our wet, stiff suits. Everyone walks behind us. I would rather dance hoodwinked with the devil than be alone. I pick bad juju over Yellow Meadow and your moon. Florida, Kentucky, hemlocks grow in sepia glint. Red clay everywhere. This isn't a dream. In the beginning, red clay. 2. The history of Black people after Jean-Michel Basquiat. The history of Black people, an allegory for Denzel Washington's continuous battle with various forms of transportation. Sorry. It's like planes, trains, automobiles. Like, that's the deal. Just walk. The history of Black people, a Black feminist reading of Cinderella starring Whitney Houston and Brandy. The history of Black people, or that feeling when Lauryn Hill is in your choir but drops out right before the statewide competition. The history of Black people, a new series coming to BET 20 years ago. The history of Black people, an investigation. The history of Black people, a tragicomic horror film. The history of Black people, or joy stinging pink lips. The history of Black people, says me. The history of Black people goes blank. The history of Black people adapted from white people. 3. Single Black female cries into a glass of rosé on a Friday in April at 10:54 p.m. Is once again an unpleasant movie date, makes every little thing political, needlessly references Paula Abdul's stint as a Laker girl, wakes up fevering in the dark, afraid of trust, forever sucking on a technical bad mood, imagines her bones damned, false teeth in the grass below her feet, is a patient culprit, names her heart a dumb tick. Forgive us our dissonance. We hold shame close. A Black boy's hairline finally puts us to sleep. A sea creature shucks sand for gems. 4. If you cut open my heart, it would be midnight at the greatest party of all time. A miniature Sean Carter and Audre Lorde feasting on difference. Uppity Negroes and highfalutins and Tyrones, Rick James appearing before Judge Joe Brown, granddaddies eating fruit over the sink, Bernie Mac growling, America, let's talk. Never went to recess because I don't play. I never learned to swim, but I went swimming. I make my enemy disease in my blood. I never believed in love. I carry us all in me, drag my hooves in tall grass and breathe when I'm full, bask in a real feel-good fugitive moment. Even the sun yawns when I pray. 5. On the first page of every library book, there's a question mark for us. Backs bent out of exclamation. We don't know any of your words, but our children have licked them up in pools of sweat. Have you ever felt like a square peg in a round hole? Do you sometimes dream of a handful of Skittles sprawling on February lawn? If our legend was allowed, it would sing alligator scales. It would be written in red clay. It was an open and shut case. It never lived to be 18. This is our first and last love song. This one is also kind of long, but for some reason I like to read it at colleges, just like to help the youth. I like read it at college once, and all the guys were like, "Whoa." For all intents and purposes, and because the rule applies more often than it doesn't, every white man or boy who has entered and fallen away from my particular moderate life has been called Matt. Not Dan, rarely Ben, never Matthew. Matt smokes unfiltered Pall Malls because Kurt Vonnegut did. We talk on MySpace because he goes to a different high school. Matt's in love with someone else, but I can tell he's still interested in me. Matt and his girlfriend aren't really together. Matt doesn't have a condom, so we can't. Matt also doesn't have a condom, so we can't. Matt loves Modest Mouse. Matt loves Kanye. He loves whiskey. He brings a flask to the park. He tells me I'm beautiful. He likes me. He follows me into the bathroom where I once found a bag of Coke. I tip sideways onto the tile, trying to steady myself on top of him while his legs are spread on the toilet lid. I say, "What about you and Anna?" He says, "Hold your ankles." I made Matt a really good mix CD. Matt's writing a novel. Matt's also writing a novel. Matt says I'm a really good kisser. My friends say I'm too good for Matt. Matt loves his mom. Matt's moving to Berlin. Matt's moving to California. Matt's quitting smoking again. Matt rolls his own cigarettes. Matt has depression. He listens to sad songs. Matt wants a big family. He seems like he would be a good dad. His family is so white. His favorite novelists are white. His ex-girlfriends are white. He said he would call me. His ex-girlfriends are really skinny. He has this thing where he seems like he doesn't care about anything. Matt's in love with someone else. He thought I was way older than him. He got a new tattoo. He has bad dreams. I miss him. He loves foreign movies. He's stoned all the time. He pulls me into another room. He has a beard, and he also has a beard. He kisses me in the other room. He loves my dog. He flirts with me all the time, I think just for fun. Oh, Matt. He knows, it's not bad. He knows he's a white man, but he doesn't think of himself as a white man. He doesn't know what to do with his life. He floats, he's young, he can afford to be cool. He wears a lot of flannel. We're just friends. He's nervous about commitment. He's nervous in the elevator when he touches the small of my back. He's nervous on the roof. I'm nervous taking his hand because people can see us. His roommate walks in on us, then gives us shots of gin. We all sip in silence. After that, we smoke on his fire escape and make out. We smoke in front of a bar and make out. We make out on an empty subway train and my back slips around on the hard plastic seat. He pays for my brunch. He texts me all the time, even at the airport. He's breaking up with his girlfriend. He and his friends are drunk in someone's apartment in Queens. What am I up to? He hates his job, but he's totally a genius. He lost his phone, so he has a new number. He hates his job, and what he really wants to do is make art and be happy. He needs to live abroad for a while. He used to be really dumb. He swats his hair from his forehead and says, of course he'll call. I always ask, but I'm gonna stop asking. I'm nervous he doesn't understand. He didn't grow up with many black people. He knows he is part of the problem. He just believes in love and knowledge. Matt. Each one more beautiful than the last. Each one with more intricate ennui. I can never love him. He floats. I can't stop loving him. Matt knows the bartender. Matt studied comparative literature. He still loves his ex, I just know it. He says, I like talking to you. He says, watch your head as I ride him in his dorm room bunk bed. He's so sorry he didn't call, it's just that things have been busy and weird. Matt and I sneak out of a movie to hook up in his car. He is afraid of me. Matt and I are hanging out this week, I think, to watch movies or something, I guess, maybe. He's never met anyone like me. Things are just super casual with us. Neither of us is looking for a relationship. Matt loves relationships. He slept with my friend. I can't tell if he's into me because I'm black or because I'm not that black. And either way, I feel bad. I feel it in my stomach's basement. Matt can't want me. I am not forever. Matt has kissed me hundreds of times, and he kissed my ancestors too. He held them down and kissed them real good. He was young, and he could afford it. When he touched them, they always smiled, almost as if it had been rehearsed. I know, right? Sometimes I'm like, I'll just do a casual thing, and then it's not. And then I'm just like, I hate myself, no big deal. Let's see one of those, why not? The High Priestess of Seoul's Sunday morning visit to the Wall of Respect. The Impressionism wing strikes me as too dainty for my mood, except for one oil painting by Gustave Caillebotte, Calf's Head and Ox Tongue, which is described in the wall text as visually unpleasant. A bust of an African woman bums me out. This year, I cried at everyone's kitchen table. I spit on the street and was late on purpose and stepped in glass, and my dog died, and I saw minuses over and over. I'll figure it out. I let a man walk away, and then another one. It has taken me exactly this long to realize I could have done something else. I'm being repetitive now, but do you ever hate yourself? Let's see, maybe a couple more from here. I know, it's funny to self-loathe. Super casual to think you're always gonna die. Okay. Magical Negro number 84, the black body. So I always say, like, this is such like a poet thing, or like academia, where everyone's like, the body. Like, I do that too, but like, the body. You know, like it's like this whole other thing. So anyway, Magical Negro, number 84, the black body. Give it a new verb. Stop writing poetry. Go outside. Make blood. The body is a person. 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 All right, one more from this book. The Black Saint and the Sinner Lady and the Dead and the Truth. For one thing, I hate stillness. On the front porch, waiting, I see an animal I don't recognize. Feet of a bird, wings of a leaf. The grotesqueness of attachment, the loudness of the woods. I knew it when I was dead before. I died for my sins, and because of this, I am in the woods now, aching. It is June. I am used to being a certain kind of alone. Soon, my photosynthesis will complete, and I will be the gap between Angela Davis's teeth. Do you ever love something so much you become it? Like how when hard rain comes, you learn quick. You straighten your shoulders and hope this is better than touching. I say casual death, and the half moon is my enemy, an uncertain white girl. I wish I didn't care. I am myself shaking hands, so subtle no one notices. Sometimes it's my rib cage, or my throat does the same damn thing as my skull, the little bear inside it. Please don't make me repeat myself. So I read this book called There Are More Beautiful Things Than Beyoncé. Not to like be rude. I I legit did not think it would be a problem. And the book was about to come out, and folks were like, "Are you worried about the Beehive?" And I was like, I didn't write a book called Beyoncé is Ugly. Like I have a death wish, but not that kind. You know what I mean? Like, I don't, it's confusing to me because I'm like, I wrote just like a grammatical sentence that is like, have you ever looked upon your mother? Like, you know what I mean? Like, what is happening here? Anyway, so I always felt compelled to be like, I'm not saying that Beyoncé is ugly. I'm not even saying that like Rihanna is more beautiful than Beyoncé. Like just, I'm just saying that like the sky's just out there, It's dope. I didn't think that even Beyonce would disagree with me, but here's where we are. I'm like, just checking, we all know that like, there's other beautiful stuff, right? All right, dude, like, anyway. I also always, for whatever reason, feel compelled to tell people that I wrote this poem in the bathtub. I wrote this poem in the bathtub. Please wait, or there are more beautiful things than Beyonce. Please wait to record Love Jones at 8:48 Saturday on BET until your life is no longer defined by Beyonce. Ants crawling over fallen leaves and little pieces of dog shit. Empty chicken boxes glowing with the remembrance of Grease. There are more beautiful things than Beyonce. Self-awareness, leftover mascara and clumps, recognizing a pattern. This is for all the grown women out there whose countries hate them and their brothers, who carry knives in their purses down the street. Maybe they will not get out alive. Maybe they will turn into air or news or brown flower petals. There are more beautiful things than Beyonce. Lavender, education, becoming other people, the fucking sky. It's so overused in poems because no one's sure of it, how it floats with flagrant privilege and feels it can ask any question. Every day its ego gets bigger and you let that happen. But one day, your shit will be unbelievably together. One day you'll care a whole lot. You'll always take vitamins and exercise without bragging, and words will fit perfectly into your mouth like an olive soaked in gin, the glory of an olive soaked in gin and its smooth smallness. The gloss will snowfall onto your cheeks, the top of your lip. The sidewalks will be the same, evidenced. Combing your records, you'll see the past and think, okay, once I was a different kind of person. "13 Ways of Looking at a Black Girl." I don't know if you guys have probably studied Wallace Stevens, but he's racist, so so fuck a blackbird, 13 Ways of Looking at a Black Girl. At Risk, Pretty, Queen Latifah, Nikki Giovanni, Ma, Tina Turner, Sex, Dyke, Ugly, Bitch, Sex, Mama, Nene Leakes, Sally Hemings, Thought, Erykah Badu, Easy, Bipolar, Beyoncé, Sex, Kitchen, Rape, Wifey, Nina Simone, Nicki Minaj, Sex, Whitney Houston, Toni Morrison, I Am Hungry for Myself, Grace Jones, Diva, Slut, Thong, Darky, Michelle Obama, High Yellow, Nappy, Flawless, Audre Lorde, Lena Horne, Lips, Sandra Bland, Sex, Strong, Sex, Sister, Wanda Sykes, Sassy, Witch, Low Income, Sex, Booty, Well Spoken, Issa Rae, Less, Hotep, Beautiful, Hottentot Venus, Sex, Chickenhead, Thick, Alice Walker, Queen, Dead, Sex, Just a Friend, Shonda Rhimes, trouble, sick, sex, mean, hair, bell hooks, single, dying, tragic, sex, help, carefree, chocolate, special, exotic, sex, ratchet, Felicia, loud, lost. How are we doing? Is everyone okay? I don't care. Because I'm not, so. I might as well do this other one. Good thing about this, you'll know when it's ending. This poem's called 99 Problems. 1. Playing house, I was adopted. Or the dog. 2, or the dog. 3, I understood. 4, they made me the wild creek between class clown and most unique. 5, the chocolate anything. 6, one afternoon the dog killed a bird in our garage. 7, he brought it to my feet. 8, in the Bible, every wing is real. 9, I could be a witch. 10, dating. 11, dating. 12, it is impossible to always be touching. 13, 250 to unpack this. 14, 60, a bag to heal. 15, inhale, heal. 16, oppression. 17, oppression. 18, oppression. 19, oppression. 20, defense. 21, teaching. 22, listening. 23, never knew him. 24, Nana packed the slow car alone. 25, picked 6 honey heads from school. 26, drove till the sky turned. 27, a new state. 28, I don't know anything else. 29, it doesn't matter. 30, I wake up not sure I want to. 31, I don't know how to explain. Every wish is an ice cube I swallow whole. 32, it is important for me to say I'm okay. 33 through 35, fucked a white boy. 36 through 42, American history. 43, where are you from? 44, Prozac weight. 45, Thomas and I got pulled over in Bed-Stuy last Saturday night. 46, we were in the back of a cab. 47, taxes. 48, the wilting planet. 49, sometimes I forget to take my pills. 50, I do it on purpose. 51, I can't feel anything. 52, a clean body is like a lake, and I'm some shit bodies are sunk into. 53, prison industrial complex. 54, nonprofit industrial complex. 55, marriage industrial complex. 56, landlords. 57, nigger. 58, okay Cupid. 59, white saviors. 60, karaoke. 61, limited cocktail shrimps. Just like never enough. You know what I mean? Like they're always gone. 62 through 70. Please check all and apply. Panic attacks, hopelessness, decreased socialization, guilt, general overwhelming stress, suicide attempts. 71, are you okay? 72, Tyler Perry. 73, hangovers. 74, the Western concept of time. 75, food deserts. 76, James Franco. 77, okay, I drink too much. 78, again. 79, it is impossible to always be taking a lavender bath. 80, men at intersections. 81, men in smoky formations. 82, men in the waiting room. 83, men at Popeyes. 84, men up my skirt. 85, Mercury retrograde. 86, my dog eats a lipstick. 87, subjectivity. 88, no. 89, where are you from? 90, lost records. 91, my real name. 92, fitting in. 93, uninterested sex. 94, teacher called me Sheila. 95, Sheila was the other black girl. 96, Sheila hated me. 97, what we mean by come up. 98, be strong. 99, I'm tired. Okay, I don't know what we're doing here. Maybe like 2 more. How does that feel to y'all? Good-ish? Okay? Fine? Okay. Cool. Okay. I meant to do another Beyonce. They're just so sad. Sometimes I'm like, ugh. Can I have more jokes or what? All they want is my money, my pussy, my blood. I am free with the following conditions. Give it up. Gimme, gimme. Okay, so I'm black in America, right? And I walk into a bar. I drink a lot of wine and kiss a black man on his beard. I do whatever I want because I could die at any minute. I don't mean YOLO. I mean they are hunting me. I know my pussy is real good because they said so. I say to my friend, I am broke as a joke. I'm starving like Marvin Gaye. I'm so hungry I could get it on. There's far too many of me dying. The present is not so different. Everybody looks like everybody I worked with. Everybody looks like everybody I kissed. Men champion men and animals. Everybody thinks I'm gonna die. At the museum, I tell the school group about black art. I tell them the word contemporary. I have a nose ring I forget about. I have a brother, and he is also black. I'm a little modern to a fault. I say, this painting is contemporary, like you and me. They ask me about slavery. They say Martin Luther King. At school, they learn that black people happened. The present is not so different. I'm looking into their black faces. They do not understand that they exist. I'm black in America, and I walk into a bar, drink a lot of wine, kiss a white man on his beard. There is no indictment. I could die any minute of depression. I just want to have sex most of the time. I just want my student loans to disappear. I just want to understand my savings account. What is happening to my $5 1 cent? I'm still a poet. I am free with the following conditions. What is happening to my brother? What if I do something wrong? My blood is so hot and wet right now. I know they want it. I do everything right just in case. I don't want to give away my money, but here I am. It's so stupid. I have to say, here I am. I have a body. I matter. They like to be on top. I am being set up. I am a tree, and some fruits are good and some are bad. All right, I'm gonna read the last poem at Natural Negro. I always I can't read this poem at any other time. It's like a thing when I wrote it, I was like, that has to be the end. Like there's nothing that could go after this, so. You'll see. The title of this poem comes from a longer piece that's an epigraph from Gertrude Stein's 3 Lives. I always say it's funny, I wrote this book and the epigraph is Kendrick Lamar. And then I wrote a book called Magical Negro, and the epigraph was Gertrude Stein, but whatever. She did say this. It was summer now, and the colored people came out into the sunshine. They descend from the boat, 2 by 2. The gap in Angela Davis's teeth speaks to the gap in James Baldwin's teeth. The gap in James Baldwin's teeth speaks to the gap in Malcolm X's teeth. The gap in Malcolm X's teeth speaks to the gap in Malcolm X's teeth. The gap in Condoleezza Rice's teeth doesn't speak. Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard kisses the Band-Aid on Nellie's cheek. Frederick Douglass's side part kisses Nikki Giovanni's Thug Life tattoo. The choir is led by Whoopi Goldberg's eyebrows, R.I.P. The choir is led by Will Smith's flat top. The choir loses its way. The choir never returns home. The choir sings funeral instead of wedding, sings funeral instead of allegedly, sings funeral instead of help, sings black instead of grace, sings black as knucklebone, mercy, Junebug,